Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make 3 projects using beads from the Czech Beads exclusive monthly subscription box. This box is for December 2024 and the theme is called Winter Magic. At the time I am filming this box, you could still get it, so I'm going to link this box down there below in the description bar. Alright? Now, before I get into this project, I do want to let you know, in November I got really sick with a cold. I actually still have it a little bit, but I did do a ring project for that box, and I didn't get to film it, and I'm going to try and film that after this video, so be on the lookout for a ring tutorial, alright? I have made 3 projects with this box. I still have a lot of beads left over, and in the past I've actually done it several times where I would make like 2 to 3 projects, and some of them I made 2 necklaces and a bracelet and I still had beads left over. So for inspiration, I'm gonna throw up some pictures of projects that I've made with previous Czech Beads exclusive boxes, alright? Alright, so let's go over what I did. I'd like to go over how I design, in case you're new to jewelry making. So what I do is I get all the beads and I put them together, and I go through like a process of elimination. And so I actually really wanted to do a bead weaving project, like maybe a pendant or a bracelet, a bead weave bracelet. That would have been like the best, but it ended up not going that way. I had so many nice beads here that I really saw a necklace here, and so I started working on this necklace, and I wasn't sure if I wanted dangles or not, and I ended up doing dangles because these beads here and these, they were actually strung into the necklace, and it was going to be like 28 inches long or something, like, or 30. It was going to be really long. And so I'm like, I think I want it shorter, and so I ended up removing some of the beads, and I made these larger beads here into dangles, and I think it looks really amazing. So let's go over here, and I'll tell you why I didn't use some of these things. So I almost used these here as charms, and it's really easy to make this in a charm. You put a wire through it, you bring it up, you wrap the wire around the other wire, and then you make a wire wrap loop, and I double wrap it onto the wire that's already wrapped. And there you go. You got a charm. Really easy. I almost use these in here. If you want, you can use them in here as little charms. It's up to you. Like, you could remove this star and put a flower there, but it's totally up to you. I really loved these. They're like milk glass stars, so I had to go with them. So that's why I did that, right? And now I have these here. These are rondelles. These are amazing quality. I really enjoyed working with them. But I only use these in one color. And here they are right here in the sapphire, AB sapphire color. So that's why I didn't use them. I needed more blue, and I already had these clear AB beads there, so I threw those out. And I didn't use these either because they are actually silver, and I have a bunch of silver in there, so I eliminated those. I almost used these. I tried really hard. I actually took these out last minute. I was going to string them up, but because I realized I had the larger beads on dangles, it just kind of looked weird, so I didn't end up using them. And I didn't want to make those into dangles because I have a ton of dangles right now. Alright? And so I didn't use these because I used the silver 3mm druks and the 4mm cubes. And I also eliminate those because I already had a lot of silver. So all of these I didn't use, right? Because there's a bunch of silver here. So, and I didn't use the silver owls because these here were actually some of my favorite beads. This is a sapphire glass color, blue sapphire, but it has AB on it, and it's on both sides of those owls. I just thought those were amazing. So that's why I didn't use the silver owls, okay? And then these here, I did use the matte pearls, so I went with those. So I didn't use those. I didn't want to use both of them. And these here, I was actually going to make these into a ring. But I thought it would be crazy if I did 4 projects in one video. So I ended up not doing it. And there's probably some of you right now that are like, no, I wish you did it. But it would have probably been like an hour and a half long video. But yeah, those are nice as beads to use in a ring. But that's what you could do with them. Alright. And then I didn't use these, but I was very tempted. There's 10 of them. And I recently did a Christmas necklace. And I made a beaded star that looked like a Christmas ornament, and these beads is what I was talking about when I did that video, that I saw that I had these in this box and these were perfect for that star. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put the picture up now. And if you want, you can go make that star using these beads right here, alright? And 6mm bicones you would need. And then these here I actually did use. They are leftovers, and these are in my earrings. I kind of wish that they gave me 2 more, because I might have had more dangles, but I don't know. It probably would not have worked out. It was going too high up the side, so whenever that happens with dangles, they want to flip forward and back, or they don't really want to dangle right because they're like this, right? It needs to be more like this in order to lay properly. I did use these, and I can't believe I still have leftovers. And I used these too. Those are my leftovers. This is a ribbon. It was pretty cool. I actually thought about using it, but I wanted to use more beads, and so I didn't. But if you make the star, like I said, the little beaded Christmas ornament star, it's a super tiny star. It's really small. It's like that big. You can make the star and put it on that ribbon if you want to. Now, these here, this is sequins, and they're the smallest ones I've ever seen. Look at them, they're so cute. And so I actually was going to use these in this necklace. Now right now I have 11, I think they're Miyuki, purple silverline matte seed beads in this here. And I was going to use these, but I ended up deciding against it. But because it was taking an extremely long time to make. And in the necklace, what I would do is I would have a bead here, right? And then the sequins are kind of like a little cup, so they're shaped like this. So I would string one on, and then I would string a second one on, and then I would do 2 more like this, and then another bead. I would do 4 in between. Why? Because sequins are actually clear plastic, and these have a silver metallic color on it, and then there is the purple, which is like a dye or something that's put onto the bead. And so I did multiple sequins so that I had a very vibrant color, because over time, it would take a long time, the purple can come off and they would just look like silver sequins, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't end up going with those. But if you don't have purple seed beads in your stash, you could use these like I did, but it will take a very, very long time to string them up, and they're so tiny. They're really, really small. Okay, now let's go to the project design. So I made this design here last, so I will go over these first. So this is what I made first, and I'm gonna lay it down like this because I want to show you the pattern more on the sides here. So what I actually did first is I created this section here. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in. Alrighty, here it is. So from the silver cube to the silver cube, I created this pattern, and I just thought it was so pretty. It's really winter looking. The colors are perfect, right? And then this here was actually longer, so it kept going, and like I said, it was going to be a very long necklace. And so I realized that it was going to be too long, and I wanted this to be shorter. And by the way, this necklace is 20.5 inches long. And so what I did was I realized, well, I can get a bracelet. So I took the beads down here that were kind of extra, and here it is. And I just repeated it. I took it from both sides. So the bracelet, this section design is longer in the bracelet than this. I'm not in frame all the way. Okay, so which was it so curvy? I had this on bead string wire, or tiger tail I should say. Okay, so here's the pattern. Okay, it is just the same darn pattern, repeating over and over, and then, you know, here it starts over again. See that, the pattern? So that's what I did. It worked out really nicely. I didn't plan on making a bracelet, it just kind of happened. So the pattern is seed bead in between all of the beads. It's a cube, the 6mm AB druk, the pearl, matte pearl, this aqua colored 6mm Czech fire polish bead, the cube, and then the owl. Okay, so this is the pattern, and it repeats the same pattern. Okay, over and over basically till I ran out of beads. I do have one owl left over. I didn't put an owl here at the end, but I do have one owl left over, and what I could have done is attach it as a charm right here, but I thought it would be kind of annoying putting the bracelet on because it would be in the way, so I didn't go with that. But I also thought about doing a little extender chain on this, but this bracelet turned out to be like 8 inches long. I didn't want it to be that long, but in order to keep the pattern continuous, I had to get it to that length. But what I could have done is remove the seed beads. I would have the same pattern, but I just wouldn't have seed beads in it. But then, you know, it wouldn't be identical to the necklace. Alright, so that's how I did the back of the necklace. And now let's go to the front. So since I had so many of these beads, there's a lot of beads in this box. I did the sides of the necklace, right, and the bracelet. And then with my leftovers, I came down here and I realized, let me see if I can get closer, that I had these larger beads, which are kind of like focal beads, so it's like I have a whole bunch of pendants or something. Okay, so what I did is I realized that I couldn't really string these larger beads down here, especially these. They looked crazy, like it didn't make sense. So I made all of the larger beads dangles, and then I had to make a continuous pattern of smaller beads so that these would lay properly beside each other. So I did a pattern that is after the cubes at each end of this. Here's my cube. What I did is I picked up a seed bead, a bicone, a seed bead. I did the wire wrapped star, seed bead. Wait, did I say bicone? I think I did. After the cube, I did a seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, charm, seed bead, rondelle, seed bead, a silver 3mm seed bead, and then I did these diacrylic teardrops, which are really awesome. Okay, and so that's my pattern. And then I took this and I flipped it. So then I start with the seed, with the silver. See, so this ended with a silver. So then I flipped this way, and then it's silver, and then the rondelle. Okay, the rondelle silver, of course seed beads in between, and then this teardrop. Okay, I had luckily 6 of these, so I spaced it like this, and then I have, after the teardrop, I have the cathedral, the teardrop, and the star. But you could see how I took it and I flipped it, and then I flipped it again, right? You could see the pattern makes sense, right? And then when I got down here, because this Nautilus bead, by the way, the ring I'm going to do a tutorial on is using an origami bead. It's an 18mm coin-shaped bead with a beautiful, it's actually a mandala pattern on it. This bead here is the same size as the origami bead, so if you have any of these Nautilus beads in your stash, you can use this bead to make the ring that I will be doing a tutorial on, because it's the same size and thickness, okay? So, because this bead's so wide, it's my pendant, I had to end up putting an extra bead in here, where all the other ones didn't have this bead, all these other sections, so I had to put the 6mm druk in, okay? And again, all of my loops are wire wrapped, and then I just flipped this whole section here. I flipped it over here you know, so it's symmetrical. Okay, and there it is. And then we go back to, you know, where we started. So hopefully that all makes sense. That's how I did it. I just did crimping, and I have wire guards and jump rings. I love the oval jump rings because they are cut in the center, so it's less likely to fall apart in your design. Alright, but that's it. Oh, the back. So because I realized I could make the bracelet, I was so excited about it. I realized I needed, I think it's actually, this next thing would be the owl. So I had to take more beads from the necklace to put into here. So I just made up for that. It was going to be, I think, 18 inches long. Yeah, so I just added seed bead, rondelle seed bead, repeating that to get that extra length in the back, because I wanted to be about a 20 inch, because I like 20 inches in shorter necklaces. Okay, so that's it. Now let's go to the earrings. The earrings are extremely easy and fast to make. So I'm going to show you how to make this earring, and I'm only giving you the list of materials that you need to make one earring, because you can only make one at a time. And I know, like in the past, long time ago, when I would give materials for all, some people would be confused. They would use like extra beads and stuff, so it's just best to do it this way. Alright, so let's get into the materials. Now, you're going to need to cut 2 feet. It's the shortest length of thread. I've only ever used 2 feet like a couple times to make something. And you can use fireline. I'm using nanofill, which is basically fireline. It's just another thing that Berkeley came up with. It's pretty much like fireline. 8 pound. You can also do 6 pound. Does not have to be 8, but use what you have. And you're going to need a size 10 beading needle. You're going to need this 2-hole coin bead. This is 14 millimeters. I got this from Czech Beads exclusive. Right? I might be able to find more of these on the site and link them down below. But I also get this bead all the time in the dollar bead box. So if you get the dollar bead box, you probably have this in your stash. They give us 2. They always give us 2. Okay, and again, that's 14 millimeters, 2-hole coin bead. You're also going to need a 6 millimeter Czech druk. Now, druk means that it's Czech glass, but you could probably also just get away with like a round pearl if you don't have druks. And I'm using 2 3x4 millimeter rondelle beads. And if you don't have rondelles, you could just use a 3 millimeter bicone. Like any 3 millimeter bead will probably work. These here are actually 3 millimeter, but the rondelles are oval shaped. Like when you look at it, not from the whole side, but you look straight down at the bead as it's strung, it's oval shaped, right? And then it's flat in the other direction. So 3x4 millimeters, you measure that 3 hole to hole, and then the widest part, you measure this part, that's 4 millimeters. Alright, but you could probably use like any 3 millimeter bead in place of this. And again, you'll need 2 of them. And I'm using, I wrote down the number, 4 3 millimeter druk beads. Okay, and druk again means it's a round bead, but if you have like 3 millimeter pearls, they will also work for this. And you're also going to need daggers or teardrops. Now, I don't know the measurement of these. I did not measure them, but really, you do not have to have a precise measurement for this. If you're getting beads out of your stash, you could play around with tiny teardrops, larger teardrops, and I have 5 of these that I'm putting into the earring, but like, just play around. Basically, the goal is that you have to have a seed bead in between all of them so they swing properly. If you put daggers and teardrops side by side, they get kind of stiff and they don't want to move. So that seed bead in between them gives this earring movement so they swing properly in the design, okay? But go ahead, play around with different size teardrops and dagger beads. And I know there's even some leaf beads that are drilled at the top going like this. The bead's flat, right? And then it's drilled at the top. So you could use stuff like that. So just go through your stash, see what you have. And I'm also using 11.0 Miyuki Silverline Matte Purple Seed Beads. And I'm using ear wires. And I'm going to show you a little trick for this ear wire. Every time I get these, I never use them as they are. I always bend them a certain way so they don't fall out of my ears, because this style always falls out of my ears. But I'll show you how to correct the ear wire so that it doesn't happen to you, okay? I went ahead and I cut my 2 feet of fireline, and the first thing I'm going to do is put this bead on. It has 2 holes, so you have to go through it like this, okay? And then go through it in the opposite direction like this. Okay, so I just did like a little U-turn. You can see my thread right there. Okay, now what I have to do, and I didn't do this last night. By the way, I made these 3 all last night. Yeah, and the ring that I'm going to show you to make, I actually made that last month, but I didn't perfect the design until I started feeling better. So I'm going to leave myself a 6-inch tail. Okay, so what I was saying was, last night when I made this, I didn't leave a 6-inch tail. I actually did like a 4-inch tail, and then later on I paid for it. So like, I regretted not doing this. So I should have followed my own advice. See what happens? See what happens? I did still finish it, but my tail was just too short. I couldn't do it right. Good grief. Did I get that at 6? Okay, it's 6. Okay, what I'm gonna do is tie a surgeon's knot now. Okay, this is how, whenever I start with 2-hole beads, this is how I start. I usually go around it and then I tie a knot like this. Okay, so I got 1 time, over and under once, over and under twice, and bring this down. I have to wrap this around my fingers and pull it tight, and I want to make sure my knot is going towards the hole so it's not seen. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do, oh man, I still have a cough, is choose which side I like more. This side is a glowy bluish green, like turquoise and green, but this side looks like lizard skin. Do you see that? Like, I'll show you this. See it? See these 2 match? I didn't really realize there was 2 different sizes or sides until I went to use this. But I like this side more because it matches the dangles in the necklace and it matches the Nautilus pendant. So I want this side to be my front. Okay, so I'm going to take my needle and go through the hole where my knot is at. Okay, I want this to be the top. So now I have to pick up my seed beads and my daggers. I realized, because I watched the video that I just filmed, I forgot to mention that when you do other teardrops and dagger beads, it's really important to get from this hole and this hole. So it could be a little loose, but you don't want it so tight that it will flip to this side or this side at the bottom. So you have to make sure that they fit together just right, okay? Now, let's say you have some teardrops and daggers and you find yourself a little short. Don't go get more daggers and teardrops. You would add an extra seed bead. So I have 1 seed bead starting this, but you could have like 2 or 3, right? If you want, like, if you wanted to, you could just do 3 daggers or teardrops. You don't have to do 5. It just worked out for me this way. But yeah, so you have to get these centered and figure out like how many seed beads you would need on the sides. Okay, and you would definitely have to have seed beads in between. Okay, little tip there. Alright, so this is the top. I went through this hole, so that means since I'm on this side that my daggers and seed beads have to be on this side of the bead. So I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, okay, a little dagger, and this here is the same color all over, and then a seed bead, so like this. Now these are reversible. One side is this beautiful dark, it's kind of silverish, but it's more dark, and one side's white. So I like it, one being silver, one being white, and one being silver. Okay, so I'm laying them like this so I can pick them up. So I go through this one, slide down, get a seed bead, go through this one. I think that one has a little bubble or something in the glass. Okay, so it's going to look like this. See? See what I'm doing? Seed bead, dagger, seed bead, dagger. Slide those down and a seed bead. Okay, so here's all my beads. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit there and zoom in. Okay, see it? I'm going to zoom back out. Okay, I'm going to slide these down to the 2-hole coin bead. This is the top. So I'm holding it like this, and I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go through my hole in a circle. Okay, but I want all of these beads slid down like this, so that when I pull the needle through, they just lay right onto the bottom. Okay, so like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is 3 seed beads, and I'm going to go through this hole. Okay, because I came out here. So that's going to connect it to the side. I always pull this tight before I add these because it wants to loosen up constantly. Alright, this is the front. Now I'm not going to do 3 seed beads here right now. I'm going to do that later. So I'm going to add the top now. So the top is 2 seed beads, rondelle, 6mm, rondelle, and 2 seed beads. Just like this. Slide these down. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to hold it like this. And I'm going to go through this hole again. And just like that. Now I'm going to put the seed beads here on the side. So I pick up 3. 1, 2, 3. My needle's not bent. Alright, I got a brand new one because I broke my last one. You saw it if you watched my last video. I broke the last one. But because it's so straight, I actually feel like I struggle working with it because the beads don't want to go onto it because it doesn't have that curve to it. So I'm just adding those 3 there. Okay, so this is what I have. So now I have to fill in holes, and I also have to add beads up here for my ear wire. Okay, now I can't put a bead in here right now because I'm coming out of this direction, so I have to weave up these 3. Okay, so I'm going to hold it like this. And by the way, this is what it looks like on this side. So if you like the white, 2 white and 1 silver, see? You could flip them. So you have the option how you want to do it. Or if you like the green side, it looks like lizard skin, you could do this side. I'm going to go up to these 3 beads. Okay, pull that tight. And then I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead and I'm going to fill in this hole. So I'm just going to go up to these 2 and that rondelle like this. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, 3mm druk, 2 seed beads, 3mm druk, and 2 seed beads. Oop, I swore I had 2. Okay, like this, and I'm going to go down through this rondelle and these 2 seed beads. Like this. Okay, so I just hold it and I pull this through. Okay, and I'm probably going to flip this way now to my front. Okay, that's what I have. So I'm gonna, if you look at the gaps, you could tell what bead has to fit in the gap, what size. So I definitely have to put a seed bead there. But look at how wide these gaps are. So that's why I put the druk in those gaps. See what I'm saying? I actually think it looks better too with a druk instead of a seed bead. So I'm going to pick up a seed bead and I'm going to go down through these beads. These 3. Okay. And then I'm going to pick up, not that one. I just said it was this one. The 3mm. And I'm going to get that thread out of my way. I'm going to put it here, the silver druk. So I have to go through like a couple beads, maybe 3 at a time, and go all the way around the bottom. And doing this is also reinforcing the bottom. So I could just go through a few at a time because it's curved. Okay, can I get, oh, I'll just go through there. Okay. So I'm just doing this. Okay, going around. Be careful your thread doesn't loop around the daggers. That happened to me a lot. It's not happening now for some reason though. That's unusual. Usually that happens on camera. The tangling and stuff like that. Okay, so I just went through, picked that 3mm up and went through all of those. So I'm reinforcing it basically. And I'm just filling in the gaps. So now, I flip this over again. I'm over here, and I have this gap. So I just put this little druk here. Okay, and I'll stitch up like 2 beads. Oh, wait a second. I actually wondered about this part. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. So when I finished the first one off, I realized that I could have done something different, because first time what I did is I went up here and I started tying knots, and then I came down here and realized, well, I like to put my second thread with my first if possible and tie both of them together into the design because it's faster. Okay, so I realized that when I made the first one. So I'm going to take this thread and I'm going to pass it through the bead and go through these 2, and I'm going to get both of my threads together and I'm going to tie them off together in the design. So I might fast forward this, I don't know, I'll see how long it takes. So I'm taking the needle off the right side, and that's why this is so important to be 6 inches, because I made it 4 and I really could not do that, so I had to kind of like tie them off separately. And so I actually only had 1 knot, I think, or 2. Anyways, okay, so this is how we're going to do this. Okay, so this is my short 6-inch tail that I told you to leave. And I'm going to go through the bottom hole, going across, okay, and then pull it through. And then go up through these 2 holes. Okay, I'm going to take it off the needle now. Put that to the side, and what I'm going to do is get these to be the same length. So see, I had all of this, like this all gets cut off and wasted. So I could probably actually use less thread to make this earring, really. But yeah, so the other tail was like 4 inches long, so it was like down here. And then this was, that meant that this here was even longer. So I struggled to finish it, which I did manage, but it would have just been better if I had a 6-inch tail. Okay, I'm going to cut off that extra, so these are both the same length. What I do then is I bring them together and I use my nail to crush the, it's actually fishing line, to be honest. You guys know that Fireline has a version of beading thread, and it says Beadsmith or something on it. It's not really any different from fishing line, and they charge you more for it. So never buy the beading version, because you're getting the same thing. They're just charging more for it. Get the actual fishing line from like Walmart or wherever. And that was actually my favorite place to get it. I remember when it was $15 a spool, and I think it was gosh, how long was it? I now buy the 300-yard spool, but I want to say it was $150 or something. I don't know. The smaller one down in the fishing, that's what I would get for 15 bucks. And Kmart, they had it cheap, so I would go there. And now Kmart doesn't even exist anymore, I think, right? I know the one by me went out of business. They also had like really good tackle boxes that were cheap at Kmart. They were nice quality. Okay, I got that on there. Now, I'm just going to go through all of these seed beads and get up to the big rondelle. But I don't want to go through the rondelle. I want to come out in front of it. So like this. Okay, go through here. I might need my pliers. Oops. I got stuck. Okay, so I got that through. Pull that tight. I'm going to make a knot here. So over and under and through here twice. So that's 1 time, 2 times. Okay, make sure it's sitting where you want it to be. So I stick my finger in there. And then I slowly bring this down. Always bring it down slowly, because sometimes it will not tie properly and you will have a loop of thread sticking out, and that's very hard to get rid of. Okay, so I'm going through the bead now, and then I pull the knot into that bead and it is gone like it doesn't exist. Here, and I might pass through some more of these and then cut it. Okay, but that's what it looks like. And again, that's the back side. This is the front. So let's go to the ear wires. So I didn't actually finish this ear wire because I wanted to like put it on and close it shut, because I wanted to show you this. So these darn ear wires, like, it sits here, right? So look at how high up this is. So they fall out of my ears. It's the problem that I have. So what I do is I get my round nose pliers, okay, and I put these on like this, and I go like this to make sure they're right beside each other, and then I bring this up here so that these little balls touch this, or the loop, because sometimes the other ones have a loop, okay, but you just want them to be side by side, and look, these ones are actually the same ear wires. Okay, so you just want to get it in position. It is, and then hold it shut and bend these two down together. I make my own ear wires, so this is how I know about this. And the ones I make are actually nicer than the store-bought. Okay, and I just bend it down, and you want to get this really close to this here, because it's going to prevent it from falling out of your ears. And I do both together so that they are, you know, similar. Okay. So there we go. Look at how much smaller it is now. Huge difference. And then I just put my ear wire on. This is the front side. Okay, and then you have to close this shut. Like that. Oh no, did it move? Did. Okay, I'll twist this open. I want my wire to sit in between my seed beads. I can't believe it moved on me. It's just something to make the video go longer, really. Okay, right in between those two seed beads. Then I'm going to close it shut. There we go. Perfect. Just like that. So I have to do the same thing to the other one. These are the 3 designs that I made using the Czech Beads exclusive monthly subscription box, and again, the month is December 2024 and the theme is called Winter Magic. You can get this box up until the very last day of December, so you can get it up till the 31st of this month. But after that, you can no longer get this box. So if you love this project, I recommend that you go and get it, and you can make all 3 of these pieces, an entire set of jewelry. It's pretty awesome. Again, I'm going to link this box down there below in the description bar. And again, the only thing I used from my stash was 11 Miyuki seed beads, jump rings, lobster claw clasps, wire guards. You don't even have to have those. You could just do it the regular way, and I still do it that way to this day. Crimp beads and head pins. Basic necessities, alright? And remember, I am still collecting donations to get a new video camera. So far, we've just barely collected over $100, and I can't believe this, but you guys were telling Sandra Younger about me, the designer of the Naughty Doodle board on JTV. She has a JTV extra that she does every Thursday. You can go and watch her live for 1 hour. And she was having a lot of you guys talk about me on her stream. And so she heard that I was trying to get a new video camera, and she contacted me. And Wednesday night, I talked to her, first time I've ever talked to her, for 6 hours straight. It was unbelievable. I was so excited, and after I got off the phone with her, it was 2 o'clock in the morning here. She was in California, but I had the hardest time going to sleep. I was so excited. But she told me about a video camera that I should get. And she said she's pretty much tried all of the cameras, and she uses this camera for filming and also taking pictures, and she just loves it to death. But she says it's the best one she has ever found. But the thing is, it's $700, and so far we've only collected like just over $100. YouTube tells me how much I get from super chats, but it's only been like just over $100, like 111 or 110, something like that. So anyways, if you guys enjoy my work, if you appreciate what I do, please feel free to donate. You can donate down there below in the corner. Right here you'll see the full screen button. Below that you'll see 3 dots. Click on the dots, and there you will find the super chat or super thanks button, and you click that and you can donate there however much you want. It could be $1, it could be 20 bucks, it could be 50 bucks. However much you want, you can donate towards the new camera, and I'll keep you guys up to date on how much we've collected so far. But right now, at this point, I've been doing tutorials on YouTube since 2011, and it has been 13 years, and I've used the same camera this entire time. It's a 13-year-old camera, and the only reason I think that it has come as far as it has because I've never taken it outside. It's always in the house, so it doesn't have humidity getting into it. And I live in Florida, but sometimes I have been thinking about quitting YouTube because I don't make a lot of money doing this. I don't make that much money at all, really. But it's just getting to the point where it's getting harder to keep going. Did set up another way to collect donations, and that is down there below in the description bar. There is Venmo, and it's called Cash App. So YouTube takes 30% of it. If you donate it that way, I think I get all of it, is what I'm trying to say. So those are another options. So this is it. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and follow me on my social media sites. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and X. Thanks for watching.